This is a killer tornado. The motion is amazing. Look at the motion.
The 2013 severe weather season in Oklahoma has been deadly and destructive. No doubt about it, storm trackers have saved lives, but they also put themselves in harm's way. Add everyday motorists to the mix, and it's a deadly combination. We saw in May drivers stuck in traffic jams as the storms moved toward them. But some drivers actually try to get closer to the storm. David Payne showed me this growing danger.
Hey, this is going to be a big tornado, no doubt about it.
It's chaos. It's really kind of the worst case scenario.
That is just solid headlights coming southbound here.
Thousands of drivers all over the metro trying to escape the storm on May 31st.
As you can see, I-240 is just a parking lot there.
There's gridlock on the interstates during the evening drive time. A growing tornado wreaking havoc west of the metro and heading their way.
And suddenly it made a left turn and started to pivot and lift back to the north. And when it did that, it accelerated. It's getting wider. That's a bad combination. It's getting wider, it's getting faster, and then everybody that's out ahead of it that thinks maybe they're in a safe spot, suddenly they're not, and then suddenly they're in a big world of hurt.
David and I hit the road to talk about these storm tracking traffic jams.
You know, some days it's worse than being on Broadway Extension at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's because more people are taking up chasing as a hobby.
You'll have chasing tour groups from Kansas or Oklahoma, and they're packed full of people from all over the world.
I'd be afraid that I see the tornado coming and there is so much traffic all around that I know where I need to be, but they're not moving out of the way and not going where they need to be.
Yeah, you know, and I think that can happen because a lot of people will follow the people that know what they're doing.
Has it ever gotten to a point, though, where it's gotten a bit dangerous because there are so many people out there?
And I've seen close calls where people have almost had wrecks, come over a hill, you're driving along and there'll be a line of cars pulled over, and then you'll see some guy that's out taking a picture of a cloud of the storm or whatever, and he's right in the middle of the highway.
In David's 25-year chasing career, he says the roads have not always been this crowded. I want you to paint the picture for me. When you first started tracking storms on the roadways, what was the traffic like?
You could drive and be on a storm with a tornado, and you might see just a handful of people out there. Back then, weather was important, but people stayed at home, and they didn't really get out and go look at it. Now they want to be in it.
It's an off-road adventure that could be deadly.
An amazing sight!
Like it was near El Reno on May 31st for experienced storm trackers Tim and Paul Samaras and Carl Young.
I would rather travel 5 or 10 miles out of my way on a dirt road without anybody else on it than be on a paved road, a good road, with 500 chasers on it.
This image from the Spotter Network puts things into perspective. The triangles you see are storm trackers south of El Reno on May 31st. Now that white shape is the tornado. Look as the countless cars scatter to get away from the storm. It's not easy to do when the roads are clogged up with chasers, researchers, and tourists.